There is a mountain in Russia known by the local tribes as the Mountain of the Dead. In January 1959, 9 of the Soviet Union's most elite hikers walked up its slopes. They were masters of survival, capable of enduring the most brutal conditions on Earth. But something waiting in the dark was stronger than their training. Weeks later, they were all found dead. But it wasn't the cold that killed them. It was what they saw and what they ran from. Led by Igor Dyatlov, this was a Grade 3 expedition, the highest difficulty possible. These weren't amateurs. They were engineering students, tough, smart, and fully equipped. We know they were happy because they brought a camera. Their final photos show them smiling, setting up their camp on the evening of February 1st. They pitched their tent on a gentle slope. They ate dinner. They wrote in their diaries. Everything was perfectly normal, until it wasn't. When they didn't return, a rescue team was sent. What they found on February 26th confused them instantly. The tent was completely empty, but all their survival gear, heavy coats, and boots were still inside. And the tent wasn't ripped from the outside by an animal or the wind. Investigators proved it was sliced open from the inside. In the middle of a negative 30-degree blizzard, these survival experts panicked so severely that they didn't even use the door. They cut their way out and ran into the pitch-black freezing forest, wearing only their socks and some entirely barefoot. The rescue team followed the barefoot tracks for a mile, leading down to the edge of the forest near a giant cedar tree. There, they found the remains of a small, desperate fire, and next to it, the first 2 bodies. They were frozen solid in only their underwear. But the strangest part? The branches of a cedar tree were broken up to 15 feet high. The hikers were climbing the tree frantically, not for firewood, but to hide. They were looking back toward the tent, watching something. 3 more bodies were found trying to crawl back to the tent. But the real horror came 2 months later when the snow melted. Deep in a ravine, they found the last 4 hikers. And the autopsy reports were terrifying. While the first hikers froze to death, these 4 suffered massive internal trauma. 1 had a crushed skull. 2 had entirely shattered rib cages. The doctors stated the force required to break these bones was equal to a high-speed car crash. Yet their skin was completely untouched. No bruises, no scratches. And one of the female hikers, Ludmila, was missing her eyes, her lips, and her tongue. As if shattered bones and missing tongues weren't enough, investigators tested the hikers' clothing. The results? Their clothes were covered in highly radioactive material. Furthermore, another group of hikers 30 miles away reported seeing glowing orange spheres floating in the night sky on the exact night of the deaths. Within weeks, the Soviet military stepped in, completely sealed the area for 3 years, and locked away the files. The official cause of death was written as an unknown compelling force. Was it a secret Soviet weapons test that went horribly wrong? Was it a phenomenon known as infrasound, wind creating a frequency that causes extreme panic and madness in the human brain? Or was it an avalanche, crushing their chests as they slept? To this day, no single theory explains all the evidence. The mountain keeps its secret. What do you believe chased them out of that tent? Let me know your theory in the comments. And remember to subscribe before you sleep tonight.